Hello and welcome back to another episode on
Unplugged with the Jeevans.
On air, Unplugged with the Jeevans.
On today's topic, we'll be discussing about
Everyone's, 50% of you guys, your favorite topic.
horror stories. So today we'll be talking about the Hungry Ghost Myth.
And don't we have some crazy stories to share with you guys?
So for those of you who don't know, the Hungry Ghost Month is in the Chinese calendar where they believe that in the 7th month of the year, the gates of hell are open and the spirits then tend to come out and roam free. So this is the time where they give offerings to the spirits during this Hungry Ghost Month.
So, what are the types of offerings that they give?
They would give food, food meaning like meals and like fruits, and they also burn
Incense sticks.
incense sticks and also like money, like fake money,
Yeah,
fake
fake
car,
money,
fake
yeah,
house,
yeah.
whatever you think you want to give to the people who have passed on in your family. That's your time where you burn.
So, Sudarshan, during this Hungry Ghost Month, have you experienced anything that is beyond terrifying?
So this happened during the time where I was doing my O levels, and during that time I was very busy studying for my exams, of course. So I was studying late, and so from my school to the house, I have to take a bus. So that day, so this is in Singapore. So prior to this, during the Hungry Ghost Month, one of my friends was admitted in the hospital. So a friend and I went to go see this friend in the hospital. And this friend was in the burnt ward because this friend boiled hot water and poured on their leg. So after class, we both went together and we went to go meet this friend. So after finished
So you and another friend went to go meet this third friend.
friend,
Okay.
yeah. So we finished studying in school and we said, okay, before we go back home, we'll go meet our friend and then we can leave. So we said, okay, fine. So after we finished studying, we went to the hospital and it was during the evening time, visiting hours. So this friend was in the ICU. We were actually not able to see this friend. So we went and we walked through this like very dark alley in the hospital and we're like, why is this hospital having this dark alley with no lights or whatever, you know? And then we eventually saw that our friend was in the ICU and the nurse told us like, oh, your friend's in the ICU and therefore you're unable to see that friend. So we're like, okay, fine, whatever it is. We left and we took the bus and then we actually pit stop in school and we just continued studying and then I took the last bus home. So the last bus was at 12 from the school bus stop. And it's about like a 30-minute to 40-minute ride. So I took the bus back. And that was the time I didn't bring my headphones. So I couldn't listen to music or speak to anybody at that time, right? So as soon as I reached our house bus stop, from the bus stop to the house is about a 10-minute walk. And like a few people got down at the same bus stop. And so we were walking and going. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't need to listen to any music. I can just walk and go because everybody's walking the same way. So as I was walking and going, I could hear like paper, like I could hear somebody walking on paper behind me. And then I remembered in class, my friend told me, hey, so listen, it's the 7th month in the Chinese calendar, and we believe that the gates of hell is open during this time. So if anybody like calls out your name, don't turn around. And I was like, and that struck me, you know. So I was walking and going, and I could feel there's something walking behind me. But I was the last person walking in that group of people that were walking and going. I was the last person. So I was like, wait. And I could hear like whispers in my ear. And I was like, okay, you know what? Because my friend told me this, I am actually not going to turn around and see what it was. So as I was walking, I was reaching my house. And then, you know, back in the days where you put a coin and then you turn and you get a
Oh,
toy,
that toy, yeah.
in that plastic.
That plastic, and then you twist it open and then.
Yeah, there'll be like a toy inside. So there was like the one part of it on the ground. And I just looked at it and then I walked past it and the thing moved. but it wasn't a windy day. So I was like, what is going on? I was like, okay,
What
never
time
mind.
was this?
This was probably 12:40,
Okay.
nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I continued walking, and the thing was moving again. And I was like, okay, no, this is really creepy. Something is wrong. So I was entering the lift, and then I called our mother, and I was like, can you just speak to me until I reach the house floor? And then she was like, okay, okay, what happened? I was like, no, no, I'll tell you when I'm at home. And then at that time, somebody came into the lift. So I said, okay, you know what? It's okay. You don't need to talk to me because there's somebody in the lift. And then it reached their floor, they got off, and then it was our floor, and then I got off and I came to the house. What I did was, I took out my shoes, I went into the house and into my room to put my school bag down, and then went to the toilet to wash my leg. I was like, okay, fine. I went, showered, and I went to sleep. That night, I could feel something in my room, standing in my room, looking at me. And I was like, maybe I'm hallucinating, maybe I'm overthinking because of whatever I experienced along the way. And then I could feel my pants being lifted up. Like my pants was actually lifted up throughout, like,
I mean, like something lifting.
yeah, no, like something was actually lifting my pants that night. And I was like, wait, what? And I'd pull my pants down and I'd continue sleeping, and then I could feel my pants like being lifted
Moving up
again.
again.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is really scary. So I started saying all my prayers and everything. And I was like, okay, I don't know who to tell this to, right? And I just kept quiet about it. And then the next night, I told Amma, like, can I sleep in your room? And she said, yeah, okay, I can sleep in your room. And yeah, you were also sleeping in the room. And as we were sleeping,
Wait, before that, I want to add is that before that part specifically, so I mean, when you came back home that night, I mean, obviously we didn't know anything, right? But that night, I don't know if you remember, I was, I always like watch TV at night, like in the living area. So I was like in the living area and I was watching TV, and I thought someone walked to the kitchen. And then I turned around and no one was there. And then the second time I heard someone walk, that's when I turned around. I was like, did you walk to the kitchen earlier? And then you said no. Then I was like, okay, something's up. I don't know why. I just felt something was so off. And then I like switched off the TV and everything, and I just went back to the room. Because I think at that time I was sleeping in Amma's room because my mom is scared to sleep alone.
yeah.
So then I just went to the room and I went to sleep. And then the next day, I was at home alone. My mom went to the shop, and you went somewhere. I'm not sure where you went. And I don't know why I had this really, really weird feeling that something was watching me from behind while I was in the living area. So what I did was, it's like first is my brother's room in the hallway, and then my room, and then my mother's room. So I don't know why I had such a weird feeling when I used to like pass your room, like at that moment when I was passing your room, I had like a very, very eerie, weird feeling. So what I did was I quickly went to the living area and I just turned the volume up on the TV until Amma got back. And I was like, where is this lady? Why is she taking so long to come back? Then when she came back, I told her like something's really off. And then after that, I think that's when you told. Yeah.
No, I didn't tell her yet. Then I decided to sleep in her room, right? And then you guys were sleeping there, so I was sleeping down. And then we could hear like footsteps in the night, like
Yeah.
walking in our corridor in the house. But I knew what it was roughly, but I didn't say anything about it. And then the next morning when we woke up, my mom was like, oh, I was praying in the prayer room and I could feel something walking in the house and standing by the prayer room door and watching me pray. She's like, oh, maybe it was God. And we're like, huh?
Of course.
God? And then she went down to the grocer to get something. And she had a friend who was working in the Kedai Runcit shop thing
Yeah.
downstairs. And the lady just looked at her and she said, I think there's something in your house. And this lady is
So
a very
random.
prayerful woman. So it was very random. My mom's like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, I have a very uneasy feeling and I think there's something in your house. Maybe I need to come to your house, she said. So my mom's like, okay, you know what? If that's how you feel, maybe you can come over. So my mom came back upstairs and she told us there's this auntie who works in the shop downstairs who said that there's something in her house and she feels uncomfortable. she's going to be coming to our house. And we're like, what is she talking about? And so I think about 30 minutes later, the auntie comes to the house and she then gets trance. So when she goes into a trance, she starts like yelling and stuff like that. And then she went and she brought my sister and I to the prayer room. And then she just looked at us and then she like was like pressing our chest at that time. And to be fair,
I was so stressed out because I was
Shania
scared of
felt
trans
the
people.
pain
I felt the pain.
and I didn't feel the pain.
I had a
Like
scratch.
she pinched really hard on my chest and like tried pull something out
She hit your head.
and she hit my head, but I didn't feel any pain after that. So when she was doing that, I was like, what is wrong with this lady? First, we are both scared of people who get
Not only
trans.
that, she hit your head and pulled you. After that, she hit my head and pulled me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, valikithu.
Hey Kali, Mahakali, Bola Malake! Bola Malake! Bola Malake!
And we are already scared of people who get trans.
Yeah,
So
I
we
was
were
like-
like literally like
I was
shaking.
like, Amma, enna vali.
And then she went into my room and she jumped on my bed and she pulled something out of my bed and like,
No, she didn't jump. She put one leg like really forcefully on your bed.
oh yeah, I think she like forcefully
Stepped
stepped on the
yeah.
bed and she like pulled out something.
And she was like dragging the
Yeah,
thing.
dragging
oh my
it
God, that
out of the
scene
house.
though.
And we were like, what is going on here? And she
like
said
she's
like,
pushing it out, right? Oh
she
my
said you have to throw this bed away because something followed your son and it likes him and it's sitting in his room and it's on the bed. So every night he will be feeling certain things happening to him because the spirit is a female and it's trying to do something to him. And immediately when we heard this, we're like, okay, no, we need to do something about it. And we like threw the bed
Yeah.
like that same
That
day.
same day itself, the next moment.
And we thought that everything ended at that point. But no. After that, we all were scared. So we slept in the same room again
Oh,
for
really?
another
I
night.
was-
Yeah, that's when we call our uncle, right? Remember?
Oh, okay. I thought it was that night before.
No, but then
anything.
Amma wouldn't feel that it's a god one.
Oh, okay.
And I slept in my mom's room again because I
'Cause
was
you were, like,
scared,
so
like
scared.
especially after what we had experienced. And then that night, you could literally hear somebody walking up and down the corridor,
Like heavy footsteps.
and it was like boom, 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 like
Up and down.
up and down, up and down, up and down.
And mind you, that because this is an apartment, there's no one living on the floor above us. That at that time there was no one living on the floor.
No, but it
above
wasn't
us.
even a sound like coming from the top. You can actually hear it's coming
Like
outside the door.
bedroom door.
Yeah. And be mindful, right? During this time, the three of us are actually not asleep. We are awake.
We are awake.
We are literally awake and hearing these footsteps like banging and walking throughout the corridor, up and down the room. We didn't know what to do. We were so scared. We were like all on one bed. And my mom then calls her brother and she was like, I don't know. I think there's something in my house. I can hear it. I need to do something about it. So he said, okay, you start chanting Anjani Hanuman prayer. And then we were doing that. And then the thing started slowing down and then it stopped.
Yeah.
And that's when I think we did like a prayer or something in the house
so, yeah.
to like get rid of whatever was there. So that was an experience of a lifetime because it
That
was
was-
super scary
That was so scary.
and it was during the Hungry Ghost Month.
And the one thing I feel about Hungry Ghost Month, when you see it in Singapore and when you see it in Malaysia, I feel Singapore, there are more offerings everywhere
Yeah.
compared to Malaysia. I don't know why. Maybe it's like, I don't know whether it's like some Cantonese Hokkien thing. I mean, I'm not well versed in that for me to speak about it, but in Singapore, it's everywhere, under every block, every side of the road, it's everywhere. Where in Malaysia, you don't really see
Yeah.
it anywhere actually. It's every day in Singapore for that 7 month. It's every day people are burning the fake money. They're putting offerings, and the thing is, right, because it's everywhere, and they do tell you not to step on the
Paper.
on the paper, like after it's burnt, obviously it's gonna fly everywhere. So there's no designated area where people can just do their prayers.
But
you know?
now there is.
Oh, now there
Yeah.
is. So back then there wasn't. So people do it everywhere, and you're not supposed to step on that black burnt paper. At the same time, you have to watch where you're walking because you should not step on the offerings as well.
Oh, accidentally hit it.
Yeah. So I have like another two stories. This is also from Singapore. So one would be around the same time where, you told your story. But this one was from a friend that I was studying with. So this friend told me like he and another friend, they were like on a Skype call. So they were like talking via Skype. And so they were talking and stuff like that. And then I think from the phone, like, normal Skype call kind of thing, they were just talking and everything. So she was walking back home. And then, so there are certain like houses in Singapore where like the rooms, the windows are at the corridor side.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, there are certain houses where the rooms are by the corridor. So, so people can walk past and stuff like that. So as soon as she like went home, she said, okay, I'm going to call you back. And then she took her laptop and then she opened it up and then she continued the Skype call and whatnot. So what happened was during that time, while she was talking to him, she suddenly heard like children's laughter, like at the back. That means at the corridor running. And then she asked my friend like, did you hear it? And he was like, no, he didn't like hear anything. Then she heard it again. Then she's like, okay, she thought, okay, what's going on? So what she did was she's like, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow and stuff like that. And then she closed her laptop and she went to sleep. But the crazy thing about that story is she woke up 2 weeks later.
Huh?
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
In her own conscience, she woke up 2 weeks later. So during that 2 weeks, a lot of things happened.
Oh my god.
So she technically was possessed by a child. Because what she did was, while she was walking back talking to my friend, she stepped on a food offering.
Oh.
And she didn't realize it. So what happened was during that first few days, she was scratching herself. I don't know if you've realized, like, I don't know if it's in the movies as well, like people who get possessed, they scratch themselves a lot.
Oh, I don't
On
know.
their body, they have like a lot of scratch marks because they feel itchy. So she apparently had a lot of scratch marks and whatnot. And then she was not eating at all. Like that few days or that 1-2 weeks, she didn't eat anything. So obviously you get really skinny and worn out. And what happened was like it started getting worse and worse, where she started speaking in another
Language.
not another language, like it was another person talking. It wasn't her voice. And the way she would jump from one place to another place.
Oh my god.
Like not humanly possible. So then what happened was her mother ended up like going to a Buddhist monk. I'm not sure where's that temple in Singapore, but went to a Buddhist monk, and that person was the one who said your daughter actually stepped on a food offering that belonged to a child. So they had to go back and offer the same food or some toys or something for that offering and say like, I'm sorry and everything. So when they went to do that, the monk gave like this black, what's my year?
Kajol.
Of course. Okay, so the monk gave like this, there's some black kind of liquid thing. So the monk said to them to apply this on her, and some holy water. So when they came back, that thing knew what was going to happen. To put that I think that ash liquid thing and then the holy water. So what this girl did was she jumped on in Singapore, the kitchen area, and then you have like all the where you hang the clothes outside.
Yeah.
So there's like that window, right? She jumped on that window.
To jump down.
To jump down.
Oh my god.
And then the thing inside her said like, if you come any closer to me, I will kill your child.
Oh my god.
And the mother was like crying, and I think her brother was like trying to like, okay, we're not doing anything. And then they backed off to make sure that she doesn't jump off. And then somehow she didn't jump off, and then was like sitting there like by the kitchen, and then I think the brother like somehow managed to grab her and everything. They put the whole holy water and whatever it was that they needed to do, and they did that. And then she was sleeping for 3 days straight.
Oh my god.
So for 3 days straight, she didn't like wake up. She was just sleeping, and then as soon as she regained consciousness, she started crying as soon as the mother told her what happened, because she didn't know for that 2 weeks what had happened.
Oh my god, that is so scary.
She was just like bawling her eyes out because she was
Yeah.
like so scared, and she's like, what even happened, you know? Which it's such a scary thing
Yeah.
to hear, but there's many stories in Singapore that are
Yeah.
pretty similar when it comes to this month, and if you step on an offering. So another story, which is one that we are very, well versed with because we've seen it a couple of times. But this is the first time that we've ever witnessed someone being possessed.
And we were just the two of us.
It was me and you, plus our cousin and Amma. We came from Malaysia.
Oh, you're talking about the first time.
Yeah, so we're going to tell you the first time. First time is crazy. Okay, so we were back from South Africa for holidays because it was school holidays. So we're back. So we flew to Malaysia, then we went to Singapore for like about a week. So that day that we arrived is when it happened. So we were like, okay, let's go eat some rojak, some carrot cake, because we're missing our Singaporean dishes. So we all were like showering, getting ready and everything, and suddenly my auntie walks into the room and she's about to get trance, and I looked at my cousin and I was like, we need to go out, she's about to get trance. We are scared of trans people, okay? We are scared, alright? And then she gets trance. And then another auntie gets trance. And I'm like, what is going on? So from that room that we all were like getting ready in, I walked out and I looked into the third bedroom. I just turned my head, and there I see one of our cousins literally lying flat on one bed. She's literally on one bed, lying flat. Her body jumps up so freaking high. I looked at that and I almost peed myself. Okay?
Yeah.
It was so terrifying. After that, she started jumping, like crouched down, jumping from one bed to the next bed, and that's quite a distance.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's quite a
that's why I say it's not humanly possible to be able to jump like that. I was in the kitchen, so my cousin was in front of us, me, my brother. I'm knocking on the bathroom door, and I'm like telling my mother, come out, because my auntie is like telling her, get your mother outside now. And I was like, what is even going on? Like, we were scared. They were like, okay, you cannot go out right now, you cannot go and buy food. And I was like, oh my god.
And like the three of us decided like we three are gonna run out. So we
Yeah, we
decided
thought,
to like
okay.
run out. And our cousin was like, no, you have to come in because we have to chase the spirit out. And we're
I was
like,
like,
what is
what?
going on? Because it's the first time we're seeing
Yeah.
possession happen in front of us. And then eventually
And
they
then
take her out of the room.
While we are running inside, another cousin drags that cousin who's possessed out of the room.
Yeah.
I had a mini heart attack there because that one screaming and shouting.
They had to like put her on the chair and
God.
hold her down. Like her father and her brother had to hold her down, and she's like kicking off, and like the aunties who were in trance were like shouting mantras or chanting something.
And then so in the Indian, some of the Indian gods, there's one famous Indian god called Karpasamy, which I think you guys know by now. So he has this satay,
Which is like a whip.
which is like a whip, okay? So one of the aunties gets Muniswaran trance, like Karpasamy trance. She took that and she was beating the possessed cousin, And we were like in the kitchen, but we were like looking and we were like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? We were
And she
terrified. We
was-
were shaking, okay? We are literally shaking,
She
shivering.
was literally screaming and then laughing.
Yeah.
Like the pain I don't know if she felt the pain, but the spirit was like laughing.
Laughing. Like they were like beating
was
her
like-
pretty hard, you know.
It was like provoking the person,
it's provoking the trans individual.
to like beat me more.
Yeah.
Or like try harder.
Exactly.
And then eventually, like, she calmed down, and then they managed to take the thing out of her
Yeah.
during that time. And
she had no marks on her body.
no marks
And
at
we asked her,
all.
like, do you feel pain? Like, you know, she's like, huh? What pain?
Initially, because it was our first time seeing somebody get possessed, we were actually so scared to like even talk to her because we're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what if the spirit comes back and like attacks her again, and then we are like in the vicinity of where she is.
That is the second, another story that we're going to tell you in a bit. But we were terrified. We were shivering.
We couldn't sleep that night.
I was just
We
waiting
just wanted
to
like leave. We were like, okay, I think we can take the next flight back to South Africa because we do not want to
let's
be
just
here
go back
anymore.
to South Africa. I think Asia is not for us anymore.
So the second
crazy
time
things.
that we've experienced this again with her was
That was another few years later.
few years later
When we came back.
when we came back for good. And so she lives in her apartment, and my auntie's apartment
They're
is
just
about
like a block away.
like a 5-minute walk
2-minute walk.
from each other. No, I think
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. If you count
A
the
5
waiting
minutes walk from each other. So that night was a Thursday night, I remember. And
time. The whole Malam Jumaat is that, right?
yeah, the Malam Jumat is that. And what they believe is that the spirit in her is a Muslim spirit, like a ghost.
Old lady or something.
Old lady or old man or something in her. So they said, why don't you guys go to the other house and collect some food that one of the auntie cooked and bring it back to this house so that everybody can have it for dinner.
Some fish curry.
And we were like, okay, we will both do it. We didn't think much of it.
No, wait. We were on the way walking there, and that's when I said, Sudarshan.
Yeah, so we didn't think much of it, and we
Yeah.
decided, okay, we both will go and take it and come.
Because
And then we
her
were
son
like
was with us.
halfway towards the house.
Hey, no, her son wasn't with us.
Her son wasn't with us. no.
Yeah.
So we were halfway towards the house when Shania decided, like, hey, do you remember that on Thursdays she gets possessed? And I was like, oh, Shania, we literally are like 2 feet away from her house, and now you tell us. I said, okay, let's like go back, and then we'll just tell them that we couldn't get it because she didn't open the door. And then she's like, okay, you know what? Never mind. Let's go and knock the door and see how she is. If she's okay, we'll go in. We quickly take the food and then we walk out.
Yeah, if she's not okay, we run.
Yeah. So we knocked
That
the
was
door.
the plan.
And she didn't come to the door. And then we knocked again. And then she was like, in like a very deep voice, she asked us like, who is that? And then we're like, it's
Yeah,
us.
oh my
And then like her voice changed and she opened the door. And then we looked at her and we both looked at each other and we're like, okay, I think she's fine. Let's go in.
Yeah, because her son was there.
Yeah, her small son was there.
So as
lah.
soon as we walked into the house, her son was like, Akka, Amma is being weird. Can you help me? And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And when I turned around, she literally closed the gate, closed the door, locked everything. And I was like,
Yeah. Because Shania walked in first and went to the
like, oh,
kitchen
shit.
with the child. And then I walked in behind. As soon as I turned, she locked the gate, she locked the door, and she put the
latch.
the inside latch.
like, like lock the door, lock the latch. And I'm like, oh, is she like,
And we're like, no, why are you locking everything? Because we're going to go back out. She's like, no, it's fine, come sit down. So I was like, okay, fine, let me just sit
I
down
was
and
like,
talk to her for a
no.
while.
I was like, no, where's the fish curry? They want the fish curry, blah, 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 and whatever. I'll take boy and go to our other auntie's house. And then I said, later you come there. Then she's like, oh, okay. I was like, no need to lock the door,
Yeah,
the
we were
door.
so
And I
scared.
went to the door
To open it
to
up.
open everything up. And I was like, no need to close the door. We're going to leave now. I was like stressing out, at that moment. Oh my God, I was so scared. Then we took her son and then we went to the other side. And then after that, she came. And that time, we happened to be watching some scary
Horror
show.
And she also was there watching it.
And
with
she was
us.
watching it with us.
And then while she was watching it, my mom had to ask her a question. And she's like,
My mother sometimes.
so when you feel uncomfortable,
No, when you feel that possession coming on, how do you... Oh, I got scared.
why?
The guard. Like when you like are about to get possessed, how do you feel? Do you also scratch yourself like this lady and have like pimples or something, rashes or what, like this lady? And then she starts suddenly, she's like, "Ah, yeah, auntie," and she starts scratching herself. She was sitting at one corner.
No, and then she took out her prayer
Oh,
Rudraksha
the
Mala.
Rudraksha Mala thing. She took it and she threw it. And she was sitting from one side. In that sitting position, she jumped to another side, which, like I said, is humanly impossible to do that while seated on the floor. I jumped and I ran.
We both ran and hid behind the couch.
Yeah.
And then she started her little possession thing. And then our auntie that was sleeping woke up. And then they tried to like hold her down. And my dad was trying to hold her down and everything.
It was actually very hard to hold
oh
her
my
down. We
God,
were in the
she's
room
so strong.
for.
And she's actually a very skinny girl.
She's very, very skinny, like literally
Bones.
bones.
But
And
when
she
she's
was
in her possession,
very
she's
strong.
very strong. So they tried to hold her down and everything, and they said, "Okay, you know what? You guys go to the room with her child because he'll probably be scared." So we were in the room, and we were sitting there for so long. And then I was like, "What is going on?" So I decided to go out and see what's happening. And she's just like sitting down, and they like tied her up to hold her like in one place. And then my dad was like chanting mantras, and she was just laughing.
It was
like
for
her
3,
eyes
she was possessed for 3 hours.
for 3 hours. And surprisingly, at that time, I suddenly was not scared already.
Yeah.
And then I stood there with my father and I was chanting the mantras. And we are chanting and chanting and chanting. And the thing is just laughing and not
And then
doing anything.
spoke in Malay, right?
Spoke in Malay.
Indonesian. Bahasa Indonesia.
And then when we said, "Oh, we are going to feed you,"
Oh, and mind you, this girl does not know Malay, yet alone Bahasa Indonesia.
when we said the word that we're going to feed you babi, which is pig, she started screaming like she was so scared to
So
even hear that
against-
word.
Yeah, that word.
And we then had like a statue of like Narasimha, a small one. And when we took it and we put it on her forehead, you could see like she felt like she was burning. Like,
like-
her reaction was
Yeah.
like that. So we put it on her forehead and then we put it on her chest. And after that, she just fainted. And that's when the thing actually just like left her body for that moment lah. And
It
that
doesn't
whole
leave.
thing took about nearly 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we all were super exhausted after that, and we were like, wow, imagine like how the family had to go through this, because this thing is not like something that
And I think it also
it's a
gets,
once in a lifetime thing. It's like
Yeah.
it keeps coming back
it
for
comes
her.
back, but it's more stronger during the Hungry Ghost month.
And that was during the Hungry Ghost month. So that is our scary stories.
For the Hungry Ghost month.
And we're telling you the story during the Hungry Ghost
I
month.
know, which is even scarier, and we're hearing noises.
We're hearing
left and
noises.
right.
So
Trying not to, be
React.
scared and tell you guys the story.
So we're actually at the end of today's episode.
We still have a lot more horror stories, guys. But can we tell it in the daytime, please?
Because Shriny is actually very scared because she's hearing noises.
Yeah, I know.
She's feeling uncomfortable.
If you see me looking around, it's because of that.
She's
Okay,
having
I'm hearing
chills.
noises, guys. I was like, before we even started, I started having chills, and I was like, oh my god. that's
So
creepy.
we're going to end it here. So if you have any stories that you want to share with us, please do comment or send us a message, and we would be able to share your story as well. And we'll be back with another ghost episode, but hopefully not during the Hungry Ghost month.
Yeah. Or does
Until
it make it more exciting for you guys to listen to this horror stories during the Hungry Ghost month?
do let us know.
But if you guys want to leave us a story of yours, comment down below or email me, and we'll read your story out.
Until the next episode.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.